Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Carolinas Association of Collegiate Registrars and Admission Officers Virtual Transfer College Fair. We thank you for joining us tonight. Just a few housekeeping announcements before we get started. You can use the Q&A button on your screen to type your questions to our presenters at any time. Your camera and microphone are turned off, so the panelists cannot see or hear you. This presentation is being recorded and will be available within about a week at strivescan.com/Carolinas. Our orders of presenters this evening is going to be Queen's University of Charlotte, UNC Wilmington, Methodist University, Franklin and Marshall College, and then the University of Tennessee. So without further ado, I'd like to pass it off to Allie at Queen's University of Charlotte.
Thanks, Kelsey. Hi, everyone. I hope you're all doing well. I'm just going to share my presentation. I'm Allie Glover. I'm an admission counselor at Queen's University of Charlotte. So I specifically work with I work with our transfer and nursing, as well as the traditional students from Western North Carolina, South Carolina. And so I'll just let you know a little bit about us. We are located in the beautiful Charlotte, North Carolina. Charlotte's the 15th largest city in the United States. And so right here is our gorgeous campus. And then 2 miles up, and then 2 miles up the road, you are in the downtown area of Charlotte. So you're able to have this kind of small school, but you still have everything that the city of Charlotte has to offer. Our total student body is about 2,400 students. 36% of our students are actually transfers. So if you transfer, you are going to be in very good company. Our average class size is 16, and most of our classes are capped at 25. So you would have 42 majors and 63 minors to choose from. Our most popular ones are going to be nursing, business, psychology, as well as music therapy. So something to keep in mind. So we have our undergraduate, but we have 6 graduate. We have six different graduate programs also. And if you're interested in nursing, so all of our nursing students actually have to fill out a whole other they have to fill out a whole other application. So if you have any questions about that, please just put that in the Q&A, and I'm happy to give you more information. Lots of your credits are going to transfer in, but 45 out of your 120 total will have to be taken at Queen's. We have an articulation agreement with every single North Carolina community college. So if you have your associates, you are going to be able to come in and you're going to be able to start so you'll only have to take your junior and senior classes here at Queen's. We also have a brand new program, which I'm really excited about. So that's with Central Piedmont. So if you're at community college here, so if you are in Charlotte, you are able to start this. You're able to start this program. So if you graduate from CPCC and if you maintain a GPA that is at least a 2.5, you will automatically get into Queen's. So that's an exciting new offering as well. We have a lot of campus life here. We have over 70 clubs and organizations. We are a D2 school, so we have we have 24 athletic teams and we have 20 national championships. 2/3 of our students live on campus. We are not going to make any of our transfers. So you are not going to be required to live on campus, but if you would like to live on campus, there is always a room for you here at Queen's. These are just some of our fun campus life pictures. I also want to go into some of the ways we support all of our transfer students. I feel like so I actually was a transfer. So I started at a community college and then transferred in. I transferred in I transferred in for my sophomore year. So a lot of the reason why students transfer is because they didn't get the help that they needed at their first school. So we want to make sure that doesn't happen, right? So we have our Center for Student Success. So we have tutoring there, we have a writing center, we have a speaking center, also lots of folks to help you out. We actually have tutoring that, so we have two tutors and academic advisors. So all of those are actually our transfer team. So they only work with our transfer students. We have the library also. So let's say that you maybe have to write a paper, you have no clue where to start. They are there to help you find all of your research sources, things like that. We have the Center for Career Development. So if you want to do an internship, if you want help for maybe your interview prep, anything like that, that's what they're here for. We have our Center for International Education. If you're interested in studying abroad, we actually are ranked 7th in the nation. So really popular program there. Our Health and Wellness Office. So we have nurses, doctors, and mental health counselors, whole team of folks to help make sure that you're staying happy and healthy here at Queens. Our application is always free. It's on our website, queens.edu. You do not have to turn in any tests, and our application is currently open. So if you want to start in the summer, if you want to start in the fall, please send that application in at any time. And all of our transfer students are, you are going to be considered for, considered for financial aid as well as for scholarships. We are offering in-person and online tours Monday through Saturday. So come and check us out. And you can also always set up a meeting with your admission counselor. I will put my contact info in the chat, but you can always reach us at admissions@queens.edu. Here is our team. We are all really nice and fun. We love to work with our transfer students. And so we look forward to hearing from you.
Thanks, Allie. Next up, we are going to hear from UNC Wilmington.
Thank you so much. Good evening, everyone. My name is Johanna Fitzwater. I'm the Assistant Director of Transfer Admissions at the University of North Carolina, Wilmington. I'm really excited to be a part of the fair this evening. I'm just going to briefly share some information about Wilmington and UNCW. I'm going to go over the application process for transfer students and then highlight some of the unique opportunities that we offer our students as well. So for anyone who is unfamiliar, Wilmington is a town of roughly 120,000 residents. We are situated on the southern North Carolina shore. The UNCW campus is very centrally located. So we are just approximately 5 miles from the historic downtown riverfront, as well as 5 miles from Wrightsville Beach. As one of the 17 public institutions within the UNC system, UNCW is North Carolina's only coastal institution. We have almost 18,000 students enrolled in our 56 different bachelor's programs, 35 master's programs, and our 4 doctoral programs. On this slide, I've listed some of our most popular majors amongst transfer students. These include really unique programs to our campus, as well as nationally and internationally renowned programs such as marine biology, our film studies program, and then the many concentrations within the Cameron School of Business, as well as nursing, psychology, and social work. If you don't see your major listed here, fear not. Like I said, we do offer 56 different bachelor's programs for our undergraduate college. So though UNCW is large enough to offer incomparable student opportunities such as research and discovery, we still maintain the advantages of small class sizes and low student to faculty ratio. So at current, our average class size is just 27 students, and then our student to faculty ratio is 18:1. What this promises students is that they're going to have the opportunity to build have really personalized educational experiences, and also have the ability to build valuable relationships with with their professors. We found that our students that are transferring from the North Carolina Community College system really do find the transition easy because these class sizes and these student to faculty ratios are very similar. UNCW really prides itself on offering students a challenging environment to explore passions and enhance their opportunities through our applied learning strategies. So these applied learning opportunities that we implement, these equip our students with real world experiences. It pushes them to learn in really extraordinary ways. And it also ensures that our students graduate and they have that competitive edge to break into the workforce. So for just one example of our applied learning opportunities for research and discovery specifically, I love to highlight our marine biology program. UNCW does have a Center for Marine Science. This is located just a few miles from our main campus. It's situated on the intracoastal waterways, just a step from the oceans. And this is an active research laboratory where our students have the opportunity to engage in research and discovery in the intracoastals and in the oceans. Another prong of our applied learning is our study abroad. We have over 1,000 different programs in 50 different countries, study abroad programs for every major and for every minor. And these vary from durations of time from 2 weeks, 10 days or 2 weeks to 2 years. So there's really something for every student. And we have a large portion of our students that engage in study abroad during their undergraduate career. And we offer grants every year for study abroad as well. So if financing those study abroad trips are something that is a concern to you, I really encourage you to reach out to our Office of International Programs. So each year, UNCW offers students options of thousands of various internships. I love to use our film studies program as just one example. So for film studies alone, we have nearly 100 different internships that are just local. And each year, our students are involved in over 500 motion picture projects. Service learning is another opportunity that our university is really proud to have our students engaged in. This is where students have the opportunity to earn credits through humanitarian work while they're working towards degree completion. So to sum it up, our small class sizes, this personalized educational experience, coupled with these applied learning strategies, really equip our students with the skills to leave our campus and then pursue their next set of goals in the workforce. About 75% of UNCW graduates advance immediately to full-time employment, while around 14% of our graduates elect to attend grad school full-time. So thinking about transfer culture, each year our incoming class is comprised of about 49% transfer students. So when you come to UNCW, 1 in 2 students is going to be a transfer student just like you. We are a very diverse and robust student population. We have students coming from in-state, out-of-state, very much work hard with the military. So we have a lot of military students transferring in, as well as people who are coming with maybe 10 plus years from the workforce. We're really proud of our transfer students year after year, and year after year, we've had among the top graduation rates within the UNC system for our transfer students. I'm going to shift gears and just very briefly talk to you about how you can become one of those incoming transfer students. So in order to be competitive for admission, applicants are recommended to have at least 24 college credits complete or in progress. Of those 24 college credits, we strongly recommend to be competitive that you have 6 credit hours of a college level English, as well as 3 credit hours of a college level mathematics. Along with that, we're looking for a 2.5 GPA or above. And with your application, we do require that you submit all of your official high school transcripts, any college or university transcripts, and if you've served in the U.S. Armed Forces, you'll need to submit your joint service transcripts as well. The application fee is $80, and we have an essay prompt, but an essay is only recommended. It's not required. So these are just going to outline the minimum requirements to be competitive. We enroll in the summer, the fall, and the spring, and currently our summer and fall applications are still open. I would encourage all of you to come onto our website, join our virtual tours. And if you have any other questions, you can reach out to us at uncwtransfer@uncw.edu. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And next up, we are going to hear from Methodist University.
Hi guys, how are you doing tonight? Thanks for joining us. My name is Summer Gonzalez and I'm with Methodist University. I'm just going to get my slide going here for you. Here's a picture of our campus. We are a small private school located in Fayetteville, North Carolina. We have about 2,100 students with about 1,600 of those in our undergraduate program. Like I said, we are a small school, so our faculty to student ratio is 12:1. All of our classes are taught by faculty. We do not have any grad students teaching our classes. We would encourage you, if you are comfortable, to come on and visit us at campus. We are hosting tours and meeting with admissions, financial aid, and even our veteran service offices. If you're not comfortable with that, we do have a pretty comprehensive virtual tour. Here's what this looks like here. We actually sit on over 600 acres, so campus is rather large, but most of the academic buildings are condensed to north side of campus. If you see the little MUs there, you can actually click on those and take tours through each of those buildings. Here's a list of our top majors here at Methodist University, but don't be stressed if you don't see your major. We actually have 86 majors, minors, and concentrations at Methodist, which is actually a lot for a pretty small school. Just to touch base on you a little bit about the application process. Application is free, super simple, shouldn't take you much longer than 15-20 minutes. An essay is not required. As a transfer student, we will need a copy of your official high school transcript or GED, and we'll need official copies of all of your transcripts of the colleges you have attended. If you are under the age of 21 and under 31 credit hours, it's possible we could need SAT or ACT scores if you do not meet the test optional requirement. Let's see here, transfer evaluation. So I know that's a big thing with transfer students, is what is going to transfer in for me. So first off, you need to have a C or higher 100 level class, and we will need your official transcripts before the admissions office can request an evaluation from a registrar's office. In the meantime, you can actually use Transferology. It is a company we've partnered with that you can go onto their website, put in the classes that you're currently taking, and see the likelihood that those will transfer into Methodist. Again, that's just a guide. It is kind of a live database. But something concrete, we have the North Carolina Articulation Agreement, and that is pretty solid. So here's a look at that Transferology. It will take you to another website. Like I said, it's a partnership, and it's going to give you a pretty good idea of what's going to transfer in C or higher, 100 level or higher college classes. But their articulation agreement, that is set in stone. So it's very easy to read what you can take and what you have taken at that North Carolina Community College and what's going to transfer into Methodist for credit. Here's a quick look at our scholarships here. You can see on and off campus, we do require our students to live on campus through their junior year, unless you live within 60 miles. You can also petition the Office of Academic Affairs, or Student Affairs, excuse me, to live off campus if you have a special circumstance. Quick look here at our financial aid package. We encourage everyone to complete the FAFSA. About $31,000 is what we get all of our students each year with financial aid packages, and most of our students are paying around $18,000 a year for room, board, tuition, and fees. And this right here is my contact information. Like I said, we are open for campus tours. We would love to have you on campus. Please give us a call, shoot me an email. We will schedule that for you. We can go through much further detail for you on the process. But again, it is a pretty simple process for our transfer students. You guys have already put a lot of work in. We want to make this simple for you. So thanks so much for joining us tonight, and I hope you have a great evening.
Thanks, Summer. Next up, we are going to hear from Franklin and Marshall College.
And Methodist, if you don't mind to end your screen sharing, and then I will go ahead and get started. Great. Okay, so my name is Emily Herbert. I work at Franklin and Marshall College as the Assistant Director of Admission and Coordinator of Transfer Admission. So I'm the lucky one that will get to work with you throughout the process. F&M is a small liberal arts college in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. That's about an hour and 15 minutes west of Philadelphia, about an hour and a half from Baltimore, 2 hours from DC, and then 3 hours south from New York City. Our campus is about a mile away from an Amtrak station, so it's very accessible. You can see students are coming from all over the country and all over the world. We do have a 9-to-1 student to faculty ratio, and our average class size is 17. So with the student body of 2,400 and only undergraduates, it's a very personalized experience. You'll see some of the statistics here, and we'll jump into what that personalized student experience is like. But the three things to highlight that makes F&M distinct as you're looking at other liberal arts colleges: We absolutely focus on a personalized and individualized experience through research. We then really blend that living and learning experience through our college house community, and that does help with our transfer integration. And then we use our city of Lancaster, which is about a 10 or 15-minute walk from campus, to really enhance that F&M experience. So just to talk about academics a little bit, there are over 60 programs of study between the majors, minors, pre-professional tracks. Everything is very small, discussion-based, so you have a lot of professors looking out for you. But what I love is that over 2/3 of our students will engage with academic research. This is the best way to customize your experience and really make a difference in the world and contribute to that academia. And our professors are seeking out the student support because it's this mindset of the students are going to be the ones carrying out their passion and life work. And so how do we foster that within our students today? What I do appreciate for our transfer students as well is that our students are not allowed to declare their major until the end of sophomore year. So whether a transfer is coming in at the end of their first or second year, you're going to be right on track with our other students on campus in terms of working with advisors and declaring that official major. So of course, a lot of learning happens outside of the classroom. We have over half of our students go abroad. Typically it's junior year, but there are a lot of opportunities to do either a semester abroad. There are condensed summer programs and then alternative spring breaks, but over 200 approved programs in 60 countries, something that's really encouraged by F&M. Again, we're in the unique city of Lancaster, and then we have a really, important resource that's called the Office of Student and Postgraduate Development. They're kind of like our career services, but they don't like to be called that. But it's really this focus on an innovative approach that prepares students for life and not just work. They have an 85% engagement rate with our students across the 4 years. And for the class of 2020, 93% of our students were either employed or pursuing graduate education by 6 months post-graduation. So one of my favorite parts of our experience is our college house community. Our students don't just live in dorms, but they're living in houses. So it's a wonderful way to foster not only a transfer cohort, but also to integrate into the community at large. There are 5 college houses. Students are a member of their house for their entire time at F&M. Our transfers are all placed into one college house along with other students. And the dean of that college house is there to specifically work and mentor our transfer students. The houses all have similarities. They have a don and a dean. The don's a faculty member. The dean does student affairs. Their offices are in this residential building. They all have their house governments and traditions and social events. They compete amongst one another. So a lot is uniquely defined, and some people even compare it to Harry Potter, if you will. There are over 100 clubs and organizations. Our students are typically involved with 3 to 5 different organizations, so there's never a dull moment. Wonderful arts scene. An important statistic, I think, is that around 95% of students engaged with one of the 8 musical ensembles are not music majors. So our students are never restricted by their program of study. We are then primarily a D3 school with 27 varsity athletic teams. That does include D1 wrestling and our non-divisional varsity squash team. We are the diplomats. You can see Ben and John here. So we're very proud. We have a lot of school spirit, and it's great to be a diplomat. Here's just a bird's eye view of campus. It's a very residential, historic, kind of cozy, everything's together, but you can see it's also an open campus. So we really do kind of live within the city of Lancaster. There's a lot of green space. The city of Lancaster, there's a lot more going on than some people know. The city has over 60,000 people. It was rated one of the top 10 coolest cities to visit in 2018, also one of the top 14 cities to visit. Those are both Forbes magazine. We have a very diverse population with one of the largest refugee populations per capita. So just to appreciate that, not also are there opportunities to have fun, but also to learn internships, jobs, and really apply the learning that you're doing in the classroom to the real world through our community-based learning classes. And then just to briefly go over that application process, we do use the common application. We will require your official transcript from your college or university. The transfer report, typically that goes through the registrar's office or dean of students. And then the SAT or ACT, or if you're like me, we're test optional and we do not require any test scores. We do require one professor letter of recommendation and then the self-compiled course descriptions, which essentially is something you create by listing out all of the classes you have and are taking, along with a few sentences to describe the learning objectives of that course. And then we always recommend our interviews. Many of them are with our transfer ambassadors. So you get to hear from a transfer student about their experience and how that integration was. We do offer transfer specific orientation, and then we bring in students for the fall and spring semesters. And finally, we do guarantee to meet 100% of need for all of our students, including our transfer students. So thank you very much.
Thanks, Emily. And unfortunately, it looks like University of Tennessee was unable to join us. So now that we've heard from all 4 schools, I'm going to invite all of our panelists to join me. And we're going to answer 2 last questions for you guys before we close out for the evening. So the first question I'm going to ask is, what advice would you give someone going through the transfer process? And if you guys just want to answer in the order that you presented, that would be great.
Yeah, so like I mentioned, I actually was a transfer student. I also was a college advisor at a high school, so I've helped a lot of people through this process. And the main thing I would say that I'm sure everyone would agree with is please just ask us any questions that you have. I understand that this can be very daunting and sometimes you don't even know where to start. And so just call us. We aren't scary people. We're all very friendly. We would love to hear from you and basically talk through any questions or concerns you might have.
Thank you. I know the major concern for transfer students is always how your credits are going to transfer. So one of the first things that I would say is utilize the resources that we have as universities on our website, our articulation tools, and then just to mirror what Ali had said, reach out to your counselor. So make that connection because we will work with you throughout the entire process. We don't want you to miss a single deadline. I certainly don't want my students to miss any scholarship deadlines. So the sooner you can make that relationship with us, the sooner we can better serve you to make sure that your transfer is smooth, just the way we want it to be.
I think one of the biggest things I see with our transfer students might be someone who is transferring mid-year versus someone who is coming in the fall. So there's a lot of stress because you're waiting to get your classes and your final grades. So it's a lot of hurry up and wait. And I would just encourage you to be patient. If you're in there, you're going to get in the classes that you need to be in. We are a small school. We'll get you there. We'll help you through it. But it may seem overwhelming or a little scary to go mid-year, but it's not, I promise. Just take a deep breath. Relax, we've got you.
And I'll wrap this up by saying, the really fun part of working with transfer students is that you guys have a story to tell. And maybe it wasn't just a straight traditional path, but you have so much life experience, and that's going to enhance what you have to contribute to, your new college's community. And so own that story, own your narrative. Don't be afraid to, talk with students, do those interviews, and just fully appreciate, how your background will allow you to contribute to the college.
Thank you. And then my next question for you guys is going to be, what is your favorite event or tradition on campus?
So we have a fountain. Her name is Diana. She's the goddess of knowledge. She is literally right in the center of our campus. She's been on campus for over 100 years. And so the students love to they basically love to dress her in hats and balloons and party outfits, everything like that. And also anytime you have an exam, everyone is supposed to stand in the fountain and you're supposed to also hug her, kiss her, something, and then you'll pass your exams. So maybe don't do that now because COVID, there's lots of germs, but that's a really fun thing. And it's always really exciting to see whatever her outfit of the day is.
I would say one of the things that is special with UNCW is that we do have about 300 student organizations, and every year our student organizations organize to do beach cleanups. So we'll do a beach cleanup before and after the summer season. We're always really proud of our students because we're always taking care of our oceans, always taking care of our beaches. So it's a great thing to do, to get together. We even were able to, space ourselves out during the pandemic. So.
We have a rather robust international and even study abroad program here at Methodist. And something that's really neat, if you walk through our Burns Student Center, you'll notice a ton of flags that are hung up in that area. And actually during graduation, if you were the first person from that country to graduate, you present your flag at graduation. And it's also a really neat time as well because we have a very large Air Force and Army ROTC. So the officers are being sworn in at the same time. So I love that about our graduation. It's very unique to see both of those things happening and just show the diversity upon our campus.
I'm going to be the one to talk about food. So at F&M, we have something called Flapjack Fest. And, the end of the semester, you have your reading days and things get a little stressful. So F&M opens up the dining hall. You don't have to swipe in. It's open from 8 p.m. to midnight. And during that time, we serve breakfast food because flapjacks are pancakes, it turns out. And the food is all served by professors and faculty. The college president comes. So it's a great way to come together, relieve some stress, and eat flapjacks.
Awesome. Thank you, guys. And I was told that University of Tennessee should be jumping on any second. So while we wait, so hopefully they will be able to get in for the last few minutes of the presentation, I'm going to put you guys on the spot and ask you one more question. So if you want to give an interesting or fun fact about your school, feel free to share, and then hopefully we will get University of Tennessee going.
So Queen's University actually used to be called Queen's College, and it started as an all-girls school in 1857. So we were an all-female institution for a very, very long time. And then in the 80s, I believe, in the 80s is when Queen's became a co-ed school.
I'm going a little historic too. So UNCW was actually started as Wilmington College, and we were founded right after World War II, specifically for veterans. So for the men that were coming back from World War II. So we are historically a veterans college, and we have maintained those ties, and we work very strongly with the military, and we're really proud of our historic ties with the military, and we're keeping it going.
I guess I'm going to keep this theme rolling then. We have the Mallet Rogers building on campus, which is actually one of my favorite buildings. It is from 1766. It is supposed to be the oldest building in Cumberland County, and it wasn't originally on our campus, but an alumni purchased the building, moved it on campus in the 1980s. The doors are really small. So I'm only 5'6", but I still feel like I have to duck when I walk in. So it's really cool to see how that building was built back then and the structure and just the different shapes people were. But it's a beautiful building that houses our alumni office.
Well, only fitting, a little history for F&M as well. We are the 17th oldest college in the country. We began as Franklin College. There was Marshall College. The joke is that one had all the money, one had all the students. So they did merge together. But you did see that picture of Ben and John. And so we have Ben and John as our namesakes, and we have those really cheesy mascots. So it's fun kind of learning about the history and how the two different colleges came together.
Thank you all so much for sharing. I'm going to ask one question to you guys, and anyone can jump in and answer. But for our students that are watching, is there any piece of advice that you would give them to make their application stand out, or when writing, if you have writing supplements or anything additional that might help them with this process?
I would say the more we can get to know you, the better. So if a school has optional interviews, do them. Optional, encouraged, read between the lines, like please engage with us. Not every school will offer interviews, so don't worry if you don't have that opportunity. If you are writing supplemental essays, typically it's why this school. please try to be specific because we will know if the essay is something that has been created for every school a student has applied to. I'm reading them now. I guess I should also say, make sure you are referencing the correct school in that application, because I have students that also want to go to a number of schools, not just F&M, and I know that because they have told me in their application.
Yes.
I was actually going to say
Oh,
something.
sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry, I interrupted.
No, go.
Okay, I was going to say something very similar. The best way to stand out in the application is through the essay. This is the opportunity where you get to introduce yourself. We see a lot of transcripts, and we do see a lot of similar GPAs. If students submit their test scores, we have a lot of great students that are applying. But the application essay is your opportunity to really introduce yourself and then show that you've done some very specific research into the university and to the program. So the more specificity that I see in an essay, something that stands out to me is when students talk specifically about professors that they want to study with. That's something that is, very impressive to me. So I would say utilize that essay to be your best self and give us a big introduction of you.
The last thing I would just quickly mention is I think we always want you to highlight your strengths, but also make sure that you explain anything that you need to. I think sometimes students transfer because something happened at their last school. So maybe there's a grade that was not your best, and sometimes students are worried to talk about that, and so they don't. But let's say that there maybe was some kind of a mental health issue, or maybe something that had to do with COVID. Please just tell us, because we always would rather have more information. That's the last thing that I would just add in.
Well, thank you guys so
I
much
have your-
for, oh, go ahead, Summer. I was just going to end us. So if you have something to add, please jump in.
I was just going to add, don't drop the ball, stay on it. Get your transcripts to us. Don't wait around. Even if you're currently in progress with classes, get those transcripts in. It's going to help us get a file completed sooner, and also help us get those transfer credits evaluated, because that is a huge factor, I think, when you're transferring into school, to see exactly what's going to transfer in and what you have left to take at the school you're transferring into. So don't wait. Get everything in as soon as possible.
Awesome advice. Thank you. And unfortunately, due to technical issues, I am just going to end us for the evening. So thank you all for your patience. And thank you everyone for joining and watching. When you close this window, there will be a link to a very quick 4-question survey, and we'd appreciate any feedback you can provide. In about a week, you'll be able to find this session's recording at strivescan.com/Carolinas. Thank you all so much, and I hope you guys have a wonderful evening. And thank you to our panelists.